Hi, Tom Cole, the coach for Steve Taylor's Community Connection, and really, it's an honor and a privilege to be here with a very talented young lady, Krista Jensen. And we talked about the first name, Krista, is so very cool. You know,
Yeah, thank you.
you don't see it very often.
Yeah, nope.
You might be the first Krista I've ever talked to. It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
And Krista is the executive director of the Down Syndrome organization in Toledo. You've done that for 7 years,
Yeah.
and it's an incredible organization helping people every day. Tell us what we need to know, Krista, about Down syndrome organization and what you do. What's the day to day? How are you helping folks? Kind of take us inside your world.
Yeah. So our organization, we've been serving this community for over 40 years now. We
Did
start.
you say 40?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Last year was our 40, or last year or the year before? No, oh gosh, it's already 26. 2024 was our 40th
Okay.
anniversary.
And you've been there 7 in your position.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So our services start as soon as a family receives a diagnosis. So
Okay.
uh, given technology now, that's usually prenatally. So they are usually connected with us through the hospital. Um, if not, then through the NICU or one of the social workers at the hospital. Um, and so, really, when they first get the diagnosis, our job is to get them up to date information, accurate information, and really just try to get them connected so they're not feeling so alone in this. Getting that diagnosis can sometimes be really hard, right? Your reality is differing from what your
Yes.
expectations were. So with that comes a little bit of a grieving process.
And Krista, people's understanding
Mhm.
of Down syndrome, I don't think it's accurate.
Mm-mm.
You know, I think somebody on the outside looking in, they don't understand it. And there are different levels to Down syndrome.
Mhm.
And maybe talk about what people don't understand and what the different levels are.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of outdated stereotypes surrounding people with Down syndrome still.
Okay.
Um, like off the top of my head, some things that I've been asked before is like, can they speak? Or
Yes.
like, what, can they do things? And
Yes.
absolutely. So Down syndrome is the most commonly occurring chromosomal condition. So approximately 1 in 700 babies is born with Down syndrome every year. And they really are more like us than different.
Yes.
The biggest thing facing them is that there are some developmental delays. So, it takes them a little longer to reach their milestones. But I find that most of the time they get there in their own time, which is kind of just one of those things of like enjoying the journey, right? Like
Yeah.
taking it in, enjoying some of the slower pace of life that they give you. Um, and then, they are at risk for a number of health conditions. So
Okay.
I think that tends to be the hardest part. Half of babies are born with a heart condition, so they'll usually have surgery kind of early on. But after that, they're doing really well. Um, so yeah, I think that that's definitely one thing is like thinking they're not really capable when they totally are. Um, Thanks to inclusion in schools now, a lot of kids are in typical classrooms or in some sort of hybrid program where they'll be in a typical class and then a multiple disability classroom. They're graduating from high school. There's new college opportunities for when they're out of school. The University of Toledo has a great program called their T2 program. They're working in the community. They're going to different day programs. So there's really a lot of opportunities out there for people with Down syndrome. And to your point, it really is a range. Like every person I know has different abilities
Yes.
and different interests, different opinions. So it's really just a matter of like finding what the right fit is for that individual.
Yeah, that was so very well said. And folks that are in dealing with that work successfully. You know, they assimilate
Yeah.
in successfully. Uh, I think I taught for a long time. I would think this would cut this way, Krista. You tell me. But having kids in the classroom that are dealing with some form of Down syndrome would be great for that student and great for the kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
That they all understand one another and
Mhm.
what they're all about and how we're all in this together and we all have differences. We
Yeah.
all are different in certain ways.
Yep.
Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, if you ask, I think almost any number of like therapist or special education teacher, like how you got into this, it's usually because they know someone that
Yes.
either had Down syndrome or a
Yes.
different disability, and they were so deeply impacted by that. And two, little kids don't see the differences like adults do, right? So
Correct.
they don't know that their friend has Down syndrome. They just know that that's their friend. They
That's
like
their
playing
friend.
with them.
Yeah.
So I do think there's so many benefits of it. Um, and like I said, you have to find the right fit for that child, right? So not the typical classroom might not always be the right fit for that child,
Right.
but more times than not, it is. And I think we're finding a lot now, especially in some of the smaller districts. I think they're always afraid. They're afraid of failing that child, right? So sometimes they're afraid of trying new things. And so parents really do have to fight for their child to be given the opportunity. You know, particularly in kindergarten, we see it a lot. Um, they'll they won't always want to put them right away in the typical class. They'll want to put them in the special needs classroom or the MD class. And so it's like, we don't know what we don't know. We need to give them the opportunity to try. And then if it's not going well, we'll make adjustments. But yeah, it's great for the child with Down syndrome because they can learn from their peers, but it's also so great for the other kids in the classroom to have a friend that might be a little different.
Now, Krista, is it important to have expectations for the young people dealing or anyone dealing with
Hmm.
Down syndrome? I think sometimes some adults will look and say, well, they won't be able to do that.
Yes.
And I think we've learned through organizations that we've dealt with, that we do a lot with unruly arts,
Hmm.
and it's artists with special needs.
Hmm.
And the art that they create, well, you walked by it downstairs.
Yeah.
The art that they create
Yep.
is unreal. That
Hmm.
they have this ability and this talent. I think I saw a video not that a number of years ago where a youngster, I think he was Down syndrome, he was manager of the basketball team, and it was I think it was a high school, it may have been a small college, but anyways, he was the team manager.
Hmm.
Did his job. Players loved him, coaches loved him,
Hmm.
and then one of the last games, they wanted to get him in the game, and they wanted him to put up a shot, right?
Hmm.
So they give him a uniform, and he goes, and everybody thought, well, that's a nice gesture. And this kid, Supercross, probably knows what I'm talking about. He's a great basketball player. But during the process of him being in the game, he fired up a shot, and he got one up, and it was a long distance shot, and bam, it went in.
Yeah.
The place went crazy. He comes down the floor again. They get him the basketball. Bam, the ball goes again. I think he hit 3 shots. I
Hmm.
mean, it was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
But I think with expectations, you limit people. If you
Yeah.
don't
A
have,
100%.
you agree with that? Okay.
Yeah. I definitely think so. I think it's important to have, you know, reasonable but high expectations for
Yes.
someone with Down syndrome because if you do put limitations on them
Right.
by not believing in their abilities. And
Right.
um, again, it ranges just like we all do, right? Some of
Sure.
us are better at different things than others.
Different tiers of
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
absolutely. And so, I think my biggest takeaway from a lot of that is just like, if you have an employee with Down syndrome, they might not be the highest producing person, but they are certainly going to bring something to that workplace that no one else can bring. And I think that is equally as important.
I think they can make your people
Yeah.
better.
Hmm. I
Just
know.
from the interactions, right?
Yeah, so often people are like, oh my gosh, you're so great for doing what you do. And I'm like, I think I'm
Yeah.
selfish
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
what I get to do is wonderful. But I, more than anything, have been so impacted by the
Yeah.
people that we're serving. And not just the people with Down syndrome, their families too. I mean, these parents that we're working with are wonderful people. And it's, I've been on the sidelines getting to watch great parents do great parenting. And then you get to take away some of that, being a mom myself now too. So it's
Yeah.
really rewarding.
Well, you give a lot, and but the reality is you're getting more back
Yeah.
because of that situation
Yep.
that you're in. So the takeaways, Krista, for us would be folks that are involved in Down syndrome, maybe as parents or relatives or brothers or sisters.
Mm.
You're not in it alone.
Yes.
That's an important thing.
Yep.
You need to get information so
Hmm.
you understand what the
Yeah.
expectations can be, when to push, when to back off, when to,
Hmm. Yeah.
get that information. And then organizations like yours are there for them.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's say we've got a couple that's watching this and they have a Down syndrome child,
Mhm.
and how would they reach out, get a hold of you? What would the next steps be to get help?
Yeah, so we have our website, DSAGT.org. We have a lot of information on there, but I mean, most importantly, just reaching out to us, sending us an email, and we're happy to have them come to our office to visit. We're located in Maumee, um, and from there, we really can kind of help direct them based on what their needs are, and really just getting them connected with parents we think that they'll, you know, connect well with. And yeah, to your point, information is huge. We're starting a conference that we've never done before in
Okay.
April. And the whole goal behind that was it's called the Empowered Families Conference for a reason, because it really is our goal is to try to empower families to take control and feel comfortable and confident in kind of guiding their child's life. Because there's always things that are going to pop up when you have a child with a disability.
And so very often today, you're an incredible representative of the organization. We appreciate you so much. Today, anybody with a problem in any field, whatever it is, and I shouldn't say problem, a different situation,
Hmm.
and they feel like they're alone all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
that just is a feeling, whether you're dealing with,
Hmm.
some kind of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, marital problems, or money problems, or
Hmm.
health problems. People, for whatever reason, with all the media we have today and all the access to
Hmm.
information, when people have a problem, they feel like they're alone and
Yeah.
they're isolated, and you are
Hmm.
not alone.
Yeah.
The information is there. You can get help. Um, you know, Down syndrome.org, is that
DSAGT.org. Yep.
okay? There's help there available,
Yeah.
and information is help.
Yep.
I mean, once you have the
Yeah.
information, then you can do all the things that you
Yep.
need to do.
And I tell families all the time, the most impactful thing that I can offer them is getting them connected to this community, because there
Yes,
are so many amazing families that have been in your shoes. They know what you're going through and they can kind of help walk alongside you. Like, you don't have to go through it alone, because it's hard, right? Like,
yeah,
you're usually, I mean, most of our families are young. Sometimes it's their first child. And,
yeah,
like, usually you're doing that with other friends, right? Your friends are
yeah,
having kids. And
and
then,
and they're afraid.
yeah. And
They're
like,
afraid.
you're always kind of like, why is this happening to me? Like, did I do something wrong? Like,
Yes,
well, I don't know what this is going to look like. What's my child going to be able
yeah,
to do? And yeah, we totally understand. There's a lot of emotions around that, but yeah, to your point, they're not alone, and we really want to be able to be there to help kind of comfort them and walk alongside them through the journey.
and you've been so successful with the organization, and you already know this, and Cross and I know it, China and Corey, for the work that we get to do here and interview great people like yourself. Toledo and the surrounding area is a compassionate community. If they know
Yeah.
what's going on and they know that somebody needs help,
Yep.
it really is a big-hearted community.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you. You're doing a great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming in
Thank
today.
you.
It was definitely an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank